keep on falling for you.
Today I'm going to show you how I turned these fabulous snakeskin shoes into something even better, into these Barbie shoes. Now, I know you've all seen the trailer and these are iconic, and I'm going to take you through step by step on how I made these fabulous Barbie shoes. So let's get straight into it. These are the shoes, and I'm pretty grateful that these are almost the exact shape that we need. We do need to make this toe area here a little bit higher, and of course recover it in some beautiful pink satins. I have this one, which is a very Barbie vibe, but I don't like the texture. Or we have this one, which is a little lighter. So I think I'm actually going to go for this one. This is what $90 worth of flatback rhinestones look like. There are 3 different sizes I got. So on this side we've got the small, medium, and large. I did buy them online. You can get them from overseas much cheaper if you're more organized. These are a different brand to Swarovski. I believe it's Precocia? Probably said that wrong, but they're a slightly more affordable version of Swarovski. I also ordered pom-poms online, but I don't think they're going to arrive in time, so I got these from Spotlight. But they're not the right color, more of a beige. So I spent $18 on pink synthetic dye. We'll see how that goes. I also have this glue to attach these to the heel. I really hope my maths is right and I can cover all of this nicely. First order of business is to pull this shoe apart. So I started off with a heat gun. The heat gun basically reactivates the glue so you can remove all the components. I'm using this little scraper tool here to help me because it was hot. So that is the sole removed, as easy as that. And now I'm marking where the original strap sat with a marker so that when I put it back on, I know it's sitting in the exact right position. And now I have my first piece. This is my first pattern piece. And just using the heat gun again to remove the sock, which is this sort of skin color piece here. Comes off nice and fun. And you can see that there's foam under there, which is great because we want to be comfortable. So I started pulling off all the sides as well because I was going to recover this entire shoe in pink satin. So I'm just showing you step by step how I did that. And the heat gun is honestly your best friend. You're gonna get sticky fingers, absolutely. It's at this moment that I didn't have a good time. Because this is a giant staple that cannot be removed. At least I don't know how to remove it because this is the first pair of shoes I'm making. It's not the first pair of shoes I've pulled apart. But see, I was gonna take the heel off and recover it, but now I can't do that because of this giant staple. So I kind of sat there and contemplated life for a little while and figured, well, I'm just gonna have to put it all back together and go from there. So same thing, I'm checking the heel and I decided, no, that's too much trouble. I'm gonna put that back and I'm just going to put the satin straight over it. So here I am figuring out how the heck I'm gonna make a nice seam for the heel. And I'm just contemplating life and trying to figure out why I decided this was a good idea. So I jumped straight into it and started tracing out my pattern piece here. This is for the toe. And I kind of jumped the gun and you'll see later on that this was a mistake. And now I'm just measuring the length of the shoe. So I'm cutting a strip that will cover that entire piece there that I'm just showing you now. And now I'm figuring out whether or not I actually want to make it a bit higher, like in the reference photo here. And I decided, you know what, that's too much effort for a first time shoemaker, so I'm just gonna commit and keep this exact shape because the giant floof is gonna cover a lot of my sins. Now here is where I made the boo-boo. Can you see all that glue? You gotta be patient. You gotta wait for the glue to dry. And I didn't put interfacing on this. So this is a new day. I cracked the sads yesterday and decided let's try again with the brand new shoe. So this is just the other foot, basically the same step-by-step process. I'm going to speed it up a little bit so you guys don't get bored, but same vibe, marking out. And here is really cool, you can actually see a cutout of where they've left space for the strap to sit flush. Here I thought it would be a really good idea to cut that tag off to make it a bit more like luxe, and I ended up just cutting a hole in it. So that's fun. We will figure out what to do with that later. Now I'm actually tracing my pattern pieces because I was a bit lazy yesterday and it kind of bit me in the butt. So I'm tracing them out. I'm adding some seam allowance here, and then I've got a lining for that toe piece as well. And then this is the toe cover, and then this is the heel. So these are my pattern pieces. I'm just showing you now where they go. That one is on the toe, that's the strap, and then this one is actually so satisfying. You can just see when it rolls to the side, it's like, ah, oh, perfect. Now my favorite thing, my iron. So this is just iron-on interfacing or fusible interfacing, and I'm putting it completely all over the fabric where I'm going to draw my pieces on because I find it easier to do that rather than individual pieces. With this extra layer of fusing, the glue is much friendlier. And this is cool. This is a friction pen. I think that's right. Friction? Yeah, Pilot. These are friction. Basically, you can draw on paper and rub it off with the eraser on the end, which is friction. Here I'm showing you that you can also use it on fabric because friction is basically heat. So now I've pressed this and it disappears. Now I'm just tracing out the rest of my pattern pieces onto the fabric with this beautiful pen, and then we're chopping them out. And that's it. We are back to assembling. Now basically I am covering the entire shoe in glue. Yes, the underside, the side, the top, every single thing that is going to be covered, and these are my components. I'm doing the same thing, covering it in glue, making sure to get the sides, and because I'm not patient, I'm just testing and I'm using the heat gun to make sure that it is actually tacky and it's not going to come through. This is very satisfying. So I'm just smoothing out the fabric as I go along with my fingers to make sure that there's no creases or anything. And I've cut some notches there so it goes around the curve really nicely. So far, so good. Now cutting off the excess because my pattern piece was slightly off, but that's fine. Pressing it into place, and here I realized I have another mark. But it's okay, because it's going to be covered in rhinestones. And now I am putting my components together. This is the top piece, and this is the back strip that I'm going to do like a fake seam to cover the heel. You can see my beautiful nose there. I'm placing it in the correct position so that it looks like it is done correctly. But it's not, and that's fine. We learn. Staples are not our friend. So I'm just using my fingers again to smooth out all of the creases, and here's what it's looking like so far. So far, so good. I'm pretty happy with it. This is the lining for the toe. It's the same pattern piece, just slightly smaller, and I used a glue to press that seam allowance down so that you can't see it from the other side. Here I am pulling it so that it will sit nice and flat when it is on the curve. And I put more glue on the shoe where it's not supposed to be. Working with satin was really fun. This is the lining, and you can see my beautiful hole. And you can see later on that I decided that this didn't look too good. It looks good from afar. Now I am putting the shoe back together. So this is the toe piece, and my glue just was not cooperating, as you can see. And I ended up just taping it and leaving it for a while and praying and hoping that it would stay, and it did. This is the sole. Super exciting, everything's coming together. I glue both sides and place it and get more glue on my shoe where it's not supposed to be, but that's fine. First time. This is the exciting part. This is what I was looking forward to most, the rhinestones. And it's pretty bold of me to just like put the glue on, and I didn't have one of these tools, so I just kept trying to pick it up with my finger, and you can see that that definitely wasn't working. But we got there in the end. So I just went through and added some glue, added some rhinestones, added some glue and some rhinestones. And it wasn't really in any pattern, anything in particular, just kind of the vibe that I was feeling at the moment. I sped this up because I don't know if you guys find this interesting. Like, it was really satisfying for me to watch, but I don't know if it's too much. But anyway, so I'm just putting all of the rhinestones on with my fingers, and it's looking so good. I was like doing a little happy dance right now. Loving life, looking fabulous. And I had to include the last few pieces. Oh. Yes, lucky last, it looks so good. And I do have these tweezers that I kind of was like finessing, moving it around and making it look pretty and sitting in the right spot. So this is what both shoes look like. I'm actually pretty happy with that fake seam. You can see it does kind of go on the underside a little bit, but this is where we're at. This is day 3. I decided, no, I didn't like that little sock. It looks like crap. So I used some paper towel as a pattern piece because I was lazy and didn't want to go get paper. Using my pen again to trace around and then cut out the shape of the lining or the sock, whatever you want to call it. Doing a dry fit to make sure that it is okay, and now tracing it out on this beautiful Barbie pink fabric. It's actually not a fabric, it's kind of like, it's a bit weird. I'm not sure what it is. It took me a long time to find online. Doing another dry fit to make sure it is good, and Kitty was sitting on my lap this whole time, just keeping me company. You can see a little head there. So again, we glue both sides. We glue the material and what we're sticking it to. That way they adhere nicely. And now the lining is in and it looks so good. It's gonna be way too pink. I was really unsure if this was gonna work. I was a bit hesitant about dyeing them, but I decided in the end, you know what? YOLO, let's just wing it. Decided to cut off the black pieces because it just was not a vibe. Of course, we have to give them a little brush to fluff them up again. And this is the way that I attached to the shoe with an elastic band because I wasn't sure if I wanted to commit and I also wasn't sure how to attach them. This way they're removable and super easy. So I just thread that band through and back over the floof and then it sits in place. Perfect. So I cut and trimmed a little more and here's my happy little boop. Stoked. Look at them. Oh my gosh. Amazing, amazing. Hello, this is the first time you're seeing my face this video. So weird. But that's it. They're done. These are the Barbie shoes that I made from pretty much scratch. I hope you really like this video. I am super stoked with how these fabulous shoes came out. Look at this little pum. There's a couple of little things, obviously, that I could have done better. Working with satin for the first time, making shoes was definitely an experience. I need to make friends with glue because there's a few marks here and there that are not ideal, but we're done. These are my fabulous Barbie heels. They're so good. I hope you like this video. If you enjoyed watching me make these shoes, let me know if there's some other shoes from any movie or even just online that you would like me to try and make. This channel is all about sustainable fashion, sewing, DIY, all that fun stuff. So if you want to see more things like these, do subscribe. Okay, bye.